Hello everyone, this is Rebecca from Papeterie de Choix, and welcome to File Folder Friday. Have any of you ever heard the phrase that a book writes itself? Maybe some authors that you've read or heard an interview with. Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking about this project, because it started off to be just a kind of a simple little, folio type thing, and then so I don't have a finished product to show you, nor do I have a prototype, because I've been working on this all day. But what I did do was leave a page undone so you can see what I did, and then we're going to decorate it with some of the ephemera that I've put together. Some of it I still have to create, in a sense, and then bind it. So yeah, that's the project for today. So this is going to be the cover. This is an image I cut out of a magazine. I backed it onto a garden book paper pages, and then each page has more pages from that same gardening book. And I think I used some of these pages in another project just a few days ago. So I'll be putting a pocket here. The file folder has been dyed with some of the magnolia ink that if you saw my in the studio video a few weeks ago, I colored it with that ink. It's green in the jar, but it comes out kind of a yellowish, and then I put coffee on top of that, just some squirts, and cut out some little reinforcements from the scraps that I have left over from this. And I still, of course, have yet to do the back, but I did go ahead and do each of the pages front and back with the gardening book pages. And like I said, I have one more to do just to kind of show you what I was doing, or how I did it. I ripped the edges with my homemade decal edge ruler, and that's what the pages are ripped. And then I used the decal trimmer. I have a We Are Memory Keepers that has the dial at the front. You'll see it in a minute. That creates a deckled edge. Oh, what did I do that? No, this is a torn edge with the ruler. These have a deckled edge. That's what I used it for. And these are going to go into the journal as well, right there. So yeah, I knew that wasn't quite right, but anyway, let me pause the camera, switch some stuff around, and we'll see if we can get this project finished and looking good, hopefully. Alright, I will be right back. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, this is a piece of, I think it's 6.5 by 4.5, just a little cardstock from Hobby Lobby. I don't know if you can see this little line right through here, but I just measured up to that line, just enough to give me a cutting line, if I can get it to cooperate here. And I'm just cutting that little bit off to give me the deckled edge. So I'm going to do that all the way around on all four sides. And Let me see if this is more in shot, because I know if I'm off the mat then I'm not in shot. So let me get a little more in shot. And alright, well, I can get a hold of it. Then we're going to come in and score. Okay, now it's 6 1/4, so half of that's 3 1/8. So the first mark after the 3, I'm going to come in and score. Give it a fold. Now, as far as I know, that's the last. We'll have to have the scoreboard and possibly the trimmer. Not 100% sure about that one just yet. So I'm going to just quickly ink these edges a little bit. And then after I get these edges inked, I will go on to the little pages. I guess I ought to do the inside slightly. So the theme of this little booklet, I don't really know what else to call it, is I'm going to call it gardening notes, I think. Is kind of what I'm thinking about. Alright, we'll let that dry. And now, this is the one that we're going to be doing. And I already cut out a page from the book, or 2 pages, to glue on. So that's, simple and straightforward. Gave it some coffee and some tea stain. And so to check this, make sure it's I've been using it all evening, and if the ink or if the glue dries between uses, then that's good. That's not what I need to do anyway. This is what I need to do. I've been talking with my daughter all day. I don't know if I've mentioned it or not, that she and I have a little bit of a houseplant business going on. And when I say business, she's the one doing the business. I just supply her with cuttings and stuff. So we've been talking off and on all day about what plants we want to have in the spring, and how we want to expand the houseplants we have, and how much money we're going to spend, and that sort of thing. She has, I don't know, 100 and something. It's way up there. And she has several very mature plants. I think I might have mentioned this before a while back. She has the type of house plants that when they hang from the ceiling, they hit the floor. I don't have any of those. I don't have the room for those. Let's see. Get on this side. But I took some cuttings. What is today? Today's Thursday. I'm doing this video just a few hours before it's supposed to go up. I guess it was Monday. Honestly, I don't remember. But in the last week, I took a bunch of cuttings from my plants and got them all rooting so that when warm weather comes back, they should be very much established, and then I can mail them off to her. And what it does for me is it keeps my house plants trimmed and bushy, and then it gives her cuttings that she can then sell in her little business, and then she also crochets. So she and I have developed her a logo, and Rachel's middle name, or one of her middle names. I gave both my girls 3 names, and I know everybody thinks I'm crazy, but that's what I did. And Rachel's first middle name is Ivy, just like the plant. And so her Facebook page is where she's at right now. It's called Rachel's Ivy and Craft House, because she makes baby blankets and all kinds of things like that. She's making little doggy kerchiefs to go around their neck, and she has a not a mastiff. What is he? She has that face, but right now I cannot think what kind of dog she is. Anyway, she was using her as a model to send me pictures earlier today, and she didn't like it. She modeled, but she kept looking away like she was caught doing something she shouldn't be doing. I thought that was funny. Okay, now I'm going to take this one and use it as a pattern and mark all over it with a pencil. My goodness. And just draw the circles there. I did this earlier tonight, working on this, on the very same one. And just draw the holes so I can punch out the holes for where the string's gonna go through. Just a little bit wet. Okay, I'm gonna step over here to the iron and seal this glue, and then I'll come back and put the little reinforcements on. Okay, now I think my husband left the heat on when he went to bed. I was working at my other craft station over there where the iron is earlier, and I hadn't moved everything over. So, alright. So anyway, I've got a section in my dining room that has turned into a mini greenhouse for the minute. No, I love house plants. My mother has a green thumb up both her arms and down her legs and out her toes. And my grandmother, my dad's mom, she did also. But I grew up in a family that everybody had Christmas cactuses, and I'm not against Christmas cactuses, I just don't care for them. And what was the other thing that they had? They always had philodendron, most of the time, some type of the little leaf, the heartleaf philodendron, but I do like those. I got one of those. I got one regular little one, and then I've got one that's the great big leaves. And then I've got the heartleaf philodendron that's called lemon lime, so it's kind of yellow looking. And then I've got some other types of philodendrons, got a bunch of pothos. And okay, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and put these on, because I can't put the pages together until I put the reinforcements on. So I think what I will do, because I know this video is going to take a little bit, so what I'm going to do is again pause the camera, just go ahead and put these on, because I got 4 pages and no 5 pages now, to put these on, and otherwise it'll be boring. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back with that done, and we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, I got down to this pocket, or I got down to the cover page rather, and realized I needed to put my pocket on before I could put the reinforcements on. So that's what I'm doing now, is putting the pocket on so I can finish this one little part. I'm going to turn it, actually I'm going to turn it this way so that I can see. Well, I guess that looks about as even as it's going to get. Alright, I'm going to press that with the iron because it's too thick. It'll take it a minute to set. Okay. And do it from this side. Well, actually, I don't need to do that, do I? Because I already have it on this side. Alright. Yay. Okay. Now let me get these little things on before I totally forget what I'm doing. Yeah, I punched these little reinforcements out of the scraps, and then I threw them in the little coffee dye thing to get some color on them, and they turned out quite dark actually, but that's okay. I actually kind of had plans for this project not to be as vintage looking. That one might be a problem. Let's see. But by the time you spray a little coffee and tea, it's dark, so I'll have to wait and do another project just a little bit lighter, I suppose. It's hard to, I mean, I love doing vintage, but it's hard not to do it on everything, but not everything needs to be vintage, but feels a little thick. I think I got a couple of them maybe stuck together. Okay, now alright, that might take them a minute, but okay, so that's the little pages done. Now I'm not reinforcing these. But I do need to get the holes in. Make sure it's right side up. These are not vintage per se, but after inking them up a little bit, I mean they do lend themselves to being the colors that you'd see in old-timey fabrics and tapestries and things like that, so I suppose it'll work. Okay, so now I want to find, I found this image in a magazine. It was glossy, and I put some matte medium gel over it, just painted over it, just to take a little bit of the gloss off of it. So I'm going to go through here and find a place to put her, and I might have to cut this down a little bit could put her on the back, I suppose, or bring it all the way over here. I could do that, but I don't know that I like that. I think I'm going to cut her down just a touch. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to, well, I don't know why I did that, but anyway. I'm going to cut just a little bit off of that side. And a little bit off of that side. And that just narrows it up a little bit. Now I'm going to make this either a tuck spot or a pocket, so I'm not going to do anything to the back. Thinking I might put her right here, let her be in the herb garden. What do you think? I think that's where she's going to go, is in the herb garden. Okay, so let's go down. Yeah, double check myself. Go down this side and across the bottom. And I'm going to use her as a tuck spot right there. And if I end up not liking it, I can put a little line of glue down through here and make it a pocket, but I'm hoping that it will work as a tuck spot, but we'll see. Okay. You remember this from the video from Wednesday? Wednesday? No, Tuesday. Sorry, Thursday. I'll get it right after a while. So I thought I've got two sets. This set that's all about gardening, and then these little ones that are all about gardening. And I'm going to put a few of them in here. So I'm going to take this. I'm just going to ink the edges. I'm not going to tea stain the backs because that would take way too long. But that's a good one to put in here like that. I don't know, that might be too big. Let me put that to the side. I can find another one that's going to be as big. So yeah, you get to see in action the things that I made, or that I made, using it to find your little ephemera, and I'm really liking it so far. Okay, we're going to do you. That, I think, might end up having to be, she keeps wanting to stand up, but we'll go with that. Okay. So, let's see what we've got here. Some of these can be tuck spots all by themselves. But not that one. That's going to have to go into something else. make a little belly band, but it really needs to go this way, don't it? Do I have another one? Yes. Just like that. I really like to. Alright, let's see what we've got here. We're going to cut off about that much. Hot dog. And I see I left my glue open, so I need to close that back. Before it dries up on me. Well, I'm fixing to use it though, ain't I? I really don't want to cover up college tulips, so let me go and find another one that I can use this for. I could put it on the back side maybe. Or the rock garden. I guess it's going to go there. I don't want to cover up the wildflower. You know what? Let's put it right here. That's where we're going to put it, is right there. Like so. Just like that. And when it dries, we'll stick something through it. Now, while that's drying, let me actually, I tore out 2 pages. This one's got a big section that can be written on. This one, it's got some it can be written on, so I was wanting to fold this up like so. But then it's got the folds, but then I also wanted to crinkle it a little bit. And then hit a few of these places with the ink. Yeah, makes it look a little older right off the bat, don't it? I'm going to run a little bit more around the edges, I think. Might be a little too vigorous. And then let me hit this slightly. And this one slightly. Alright. Alright, so that looks a little bit older. Sorta, kinda. Alright. Now I wanted to put this one, I think, in here. And these little pockets are tight because I should have folded some under so I'd have the full width, but I didn't. But that's alright, I got that one. And then this one, I want to do the same thing with just folding it. And I think I'm going to fold it this way so that this is on the outside. And then I'm going to open it back up and crinkle it. That might be too much of a crinkle. Okay. And let's just hit some of those little folds. There. Turn it over. Hit a few here. Go around the edges a little bit more. I did do this, but then I sprayed it down with tea after I did the coffee, and it just sort of leached into the paper, which is fine. It just gives it that much more. But okay, what did that line go? There it is. Yeah. I'm liking how that looks. I need to do this again. It needs some more stuff down through here, I think. And, oops, that don't really look good, but okay. Do a little bit more along the edge. Alright. Okay, and I want this one in the front, and again this pocket is a little bit tight, but if we wiggle, you know, when we were young in our teenage and their years, we put our jeans on like this, didn't we? Lay down on the bed, squish ourselves in them, zip them up, just wriggle it a little bit at a time. I actually didn't do that, but, well, I don't know. I might have one time or two. But anyway, we've wriggled into our jeans now. Alrighty. Now, I probably have more decorating here than I actually have time to do. As far as the time of night that it is. So what I am going to do, because you've already seen kind of what I'm going to be decorating it with, but what I'm going to do is we're going to layer this thing up like so. And I swear these roses look upside down to me. Do they look upside down to you? I mean, I don't know, but if I turn them that way, they look more upside down. So I guess this is the way it's going to go. And then this one, I think I'm a little off on that one. Let's and then this one. Now, these are just basically going to be note cards. I'm not decorating them. They're just in there to give more writing space. So basically this is it. Now what I'm going to do is, where did my string go? I am going to use some jute, and I'm just going to do a loose binding because I know that I need to put more stuff in it. And actually, let's do it this way. I'm going to do this slightly different than some of the ones I've done in the past. I'm just doing the single holes. Now the bottom and the top will just go straight through. These don't have those holes. Well, if I could get a hold of it. I probably should have put tape on the end of this. Okay, so we're we're going to let that hang out there for a minute. Yeah, I already like how that looks like that. Put that through there. Through there. Now I think I'm going to have to concentrate for just a minute to make sure I don't mess this up. I've really gotten into this somewhat rustic. I don't know if rustic is the right word. Types of journaling, or not journaling, but binding. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. Another string. Come back to the back. I probably will end up putting that down because it's the back page. Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and do that right now. And then it can be drying while I finish what I'm doing here. And then I'll come back and put this in. I think it'll still fit. If not, I'll put it someplace else. Okay. So ta-da! Looky here. Alright. So yeah, I have a mini monstera that grew almost 3 feet during the summer, and it and a horsehead philodendron that is the type that grows upright, and it grew about the same length, actually a little bit more. And I don't have them on a moss pole, and I'm kind of the type of person that if I need it, then I figure out how to make it. So I just wasn't into getting what I needed to make the moss pole, and when I looked more into it, I decided that I was just going to cut them, root the 2 tops. I cut them into thirds, root the 2 top pieces, make a bushier thing, and then in the spring, when it's warm weather, I'll do me a moss pole, and we'll go from there. Alright, now I'm going to step over here and iron that little thing down right there, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, what I'm going to do is just loosely tie these together in a little bow until I get the whole thing filled up. And hopefully that I'm leaving enough room in there to turn the pages. Now this is not how I'm going to leave it, obviously, but I kind of like how that looks, but we'll see how it looks when I close it. Not bad, actually. Okay, so I obviously have more decorating to do, and I'll show you what else I got besides these two pieces of little ephemera to choose from. I also have some more magazine pages that I've cut out and that I need to attach to the paper. This one I don't know if I'll end up using because it is quite big. It's wider than here, and I don't know if I want to turn it that way. And then I just have some like little images, and what I do to take the gloss off, I have this I found it on clearance. No, this I found at a thrift store, actually. Yeah, that's a thrift store price. Anyway, it now I've used out of it 2 or 3 times, but you know it's practically full. So I'd never used it before, but I read about it, and it takes the shine off. So I was like, that's perfect, takes the shine off. It did this one and the other one you saw. So I still need to do that before I add any more images, but I've got all these little things that I want to put in here that mason jars are not necessarily, but if you grow a vegetable garden you're gonna be canning stuff, so I'll leave that, I think. And some of these I may not put in. Then I've got the word grow, the word lifestyle, some red grapes, and this word garden that I may or may not use. And then I've got this little bee that'll end up going here someplace. And a number, and some more numbers. And then this I'm going to cut down, it's full of watering cans. This I don't know if I'll use, it's a real photograph, but it's got herbs in it, and it's got French canisters, which I love, so I might put that in. And the year 1923, and then some other little stuff. Now, and I particularly chose stuff that I'd cut out of a magazine, or several magazines, to create this little project, just because I've never done it before. And here's a couple more that are probably going to be too big, so I'd have to fold them in half if I use them. Now I got one more thing that I want to use. I don't know if I actually will, but if you've been following me a while, you've heard me mention about having dried petals that I use making my soap and that sort of thing. So I've got upwards of 100 jars of flower petals, and most of them are roses. So because this says beautiful roses, I was hoping I could find a little white bag, but I didn't have one. I have big ones, but I didn't have a little one. So I found this one in my little fabric bag stash. And this is just one of my jars of, I mean, like I said, I've got 15 quart jars full of rose petals, besides, you know, all little bitty, this is a jelly jar. And so I wash my jars and keep them, if they got good lids. It depends on if they have lids that seal. So one of the things that I was going to put right here, and I think I could go ahead and put some rose petals in the bag, I suppose. I really need a smaller bag, so I don't know, we'll see. But that's a good little selection. And then put it like that, and I was going to weave this into these holes. Now, I don't know if I will do that or not, because if it might not work. It just might not work. But I'm hoping to make it work. But at any rate, this... Oh, and I paint the lids of my jars with spray chalk paint, especially my big ones. And that way I can write on the lid what it is that's in the jar. Some petals, it's hard to tell when they dry. Okay, so let's do just this little bitty flip through right here. Let's see what we've got. This is, like I said, it's just a note card to write on. This is going to have some pockets or belly bands or something along that line to, you know, to create some writing space. So a cute little thing. I need to find something for the rock garden. I need to find something for this lady who's bending over in her garden. Yeah, that'll work. And both of those will work. I can do that. Even that. So yeah, I'll ink those up and put those in. But basically, that's our little project. Almost finished, but not quite. But for the purpose of the video, I'm going to call it done for now. So, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for being patient with me. I've been working on this all day long, and I saw that time was getting away from me. So, I thought I'd just go ahead and do it. But it's a cute little project, and you can make it in so many themes just with a piece. This is just a single piece of file folder. There's and some book pages, and I like it. Alright, well, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. You'll notice that I put a different tie closure in place. Once I turned the camera off, I realized that the jute was just too rustic and I wanted a softer look. So I took some sheets that I had ripped up into little sections and made tie closures out of that. So that's what the journal looks like now.